The story kicks off with a 21-year-old guy named Andy. He lost his parents when he was just a kid, and ever since, he's been living with his grandfather, who still shares the same roof with him today. Andy finished school a while ago and now drives around in a large truck, selling hot dogs. A job his grandfather once did with pride, but Andy's life doesn't have a clear direction. His grandfather hopes he'll do something meaningful, yet Andy stays caught up in his love for the past. He's fascinated by old-school things, like dusty typewriters, faded posters, and most of all, classic films from decades ago. His all-time favorite actress? Monica. She used to star in bold, daring movies and was once the talk of the town. Famous, glamorous, and wildly admired, Andy is completely hooked on her. His room is plastered with her posters, and he watches her videos non-stop. Meeting her in person, that's his ultimate dream. Andy feels incredibly lonely, but he does have one companion, a 12-year-old boy he chats with regularly. There's also a girl who has feelings for Andy, but she's never had the courage to tell him. Funny thing is, Andy likes her too, yet he's way too shy to say a word. One day, Andy tells his grandfather that he needs some money to start a new business. His grandfather immediately shuts it down, saying, "I don't have any money." Andy, without missing a beat, says he'll just sell the truck. After all, people don't seem to enjoy hot dogs like they used to anymore. That really sets his grandfather off. He snaps, reminding Andy that this truck is what keeps their home running, and then he asks the big question. What will you do after selling the truck, if you don't even have a plan? But Andy brushes it all aside and decides to sell the truck anyway. He puts up an ad and soon after gets a call from a man who agrees to buy it. But there's a catch. The buyer says, "You'll have to bring the truck to my place. I don't have time to come get it." Problem is, the man lives far away. At the same time, Andy discovers that Monica is doing a live performance in a club in the very same city. Without wasting a moment, Andy decides he'll meet Monica and deliver the truck in one trip. His heart races. His lifelong dream is finally within reach. Andy contacts the buyer and says he's on his way with the truck. He studies a map of the city, packs his things, and tells his grandfather that he's leaving. After a long drive, Andy finally reaches the city at night and heads straight to the club where Monica is supposed to perform. As he walks in, he's met with a strange and wild atmosphere. A girl is up on stage dancing under flashing lights, while another woman walks up to Andy and starts flirting with him. Curious, Andy asks, "When is Monica going to perform?" But instead of giving him an answer, the woman demands he buy her a drink first. Only then does she whisper, "She'll be on stage soon." Then she adds with a smirk, "If you pay more, you can sleep with me." Andy quickly turns her down. Suddenly, a group of guys walks into the club. The girl, realizing Andy won't spend money on her, ditches him and goes over to them. Moments later, Monica finally steps onto the stage, and Andy is stunned. He can't believe he's actually seeing her in real life. Monica begins her performance, and Andy watches with admiration, but she doesn't have that same shine she once did. At around 49, she no longer draws the same attention from the crowd. She dances her heart out, trying to entertain the guests, but a few guys in the crowd begin to mock her. Andy hears their rude comments and jumps in to defend her. A heated argument breaks out and things quickly turn violent. The guys start hitting Andy. Thankfully, a bodyguard rushes in and breaks it up, calling the police right away. The club owner points a finger at Monica, blaming her for the chaos. "That fight happened because of you," he snaps. Hurt by the accusation, Monica walks over to Andy, who's now with the police. She gently asks, "Are you okay?" Andy nods and says yes. When she finds out that he's traveled from far away and isn't in any shape to go back alone, she decides to take him home with her. At her place, Monica sits down with Andy and asks him about his life. He shares that his parents died when he was young and that he now lives with his grandfather. Monica's heart sinks hearing this. She then asks why he came to the club. Andy replies softly, "I came to see you. I've wanted to meet you for so long, and now that I'm here, it doesn't feel real." Monica treats his wounds and gives him some medicine. All this time, Andy believed Monica lived a glamorous, exciting life. But as they talk, he sees the truth. She's worn down by life. Divorced, with a daughter who lives with her ex-husband, Monica is stuck in a painful custody battle. Her youthful beauty has faded, and the jobs she once had are long gone. With no other options, she now performs in clubs just to survive. She tells Andy she wants to leave her past behind, start a new chapter, and give her daughter a better life. But society doesn't make it easy. They look at her with judgment, breaking down her confidence little by little. Andy is crushed, seeing the harsh reality behind her once glamorous image. Later that night, Monica calls a cab to send Andy home. But when she tries to wake him, he's fast asleep, so she quietly lets him rest. The next morning, Monica's ex-husband shows up with their daughter, but things get ugly fast. He coldly tells Monica she's not fit to care for their child, and even claims the girl doesn't want to stay with her. Without giving Monica a chance to speak, he throws harsh words her way, refuses to let her near their daughter, and drives off without a second glance. Monica breaks down in tears on the spot. Andy watches the heartbreaking scene from the window, and his heart sinks. Trying to hold herself together, Monica wipes her tears and walks back inside. Andy, not wanting to make things harder, gently tells her that he'll leave after breakfast. The two sit down to eat and flip through her old photo albums together. Andy enjoys every moment. They laugh, they reminisce, and he silently wishes he could stay a little longer. But Monica, still carrying the weight of everything, kindly asks him to go. Andy picks up his bag, looks at her, and asks, "Can we meet again?" Monica stays silent. Without another word, Andy leaves with his truck. He heads over to meet the man who agreed to buy the truck. The buyer checks it out and offers a check, but Andy shakes his head. "I need cash," he says firmly. The man explains he can only pay in a few days, so Andy agrees to return later. Andy books a hotel room, but his mind keeps drifting back to Monica. Unable to shake the feeling, he goes to her house again, only to find she's not home. So he walks around the city, lost in thought. Just then, he spots Monica exiting a store with bags in her hands. He rushes over and helps carry them. Monica is surprised to see him. "What are you doing here?" she asks. And he replies, "I'm still in town, need to sell the truck." They sit quietly in a nearby park where Monica opens up. Things still aren't getting any better for her. Frustrated and overwhelmed, she drinks too much and struggles to stay on her feet. Andy gently supports her, brings her home, and carefully lays her down in bed to rest. The next morning, Andy returns to check on her. A neighbor informs him that Monica went to the school. Curious and concerned, Andy heads over and finds her standing at a distance, quietly watching her daughter. The little girl is waiting outside, looking around for her father. Moments later, her father arrives and drives her away without even noticing Monica. Helpless, Monica breaks down in tears again. Andy steps in to comfort her, and together they head back home. At this point, Andy truly begins to understand Monica. Not as a screen icon, but as a human being, full of pain and strength. He doesn't judge her for her past. Monica feels deeply moved by his warmth and support. They start spending more time together, watching movies, talking about life, and slowly becoming close friends. One day, Andy surprises Monica by taking her to a beautiful, peaceful spot. They camp under the stars, surrounded by silence and calm. While chatting, Monica curiously asks, "Do you have a girlfriend?" Andy smiles and replies, "No, I've never been with anyone." Monica is taken aback. The moment turns intimate, and the two grow closer. For Andy, it's like a dream finally coming true. For Monica, a rare and tender moment of peace. The next day, Andy does something bold. He brings Monica's daughter to her doorstep. Shocked, Monica asks, "What are you doing with a stranger?" But the little girl calmly replies, "He's my friend." Andy remembered how Monica once said she missed her daughter deeply, and that's exactly why he did it. But Monica becomes upset. She tells Andy he never should have brought her daughter there. "If my ex-husband finds out, it'll only make things worse," she snaps. Andy, trying to explain himself, says, "I just want to make you happy." But Monica shuts him down coldly. "You're not my boyfriend. I don't want to depend on anyone anymore. Whatever happened between us, forget it. Please, leave." Andy stands there, stunned and heartbroken. "I care about you," he says softly. But Monica holds her ground. Andy has no choice. He walks away, dragging his feet as he heads back to his truck. Later, Andy visits the buyer once again and apologizes for the delay. The man, curious, asks what held him up. Andy simply says, "There's a woman." When the man presses further, "Who is she?" Andy replies, "I love her, and I want to fix everything for her." The man gives Andy a thoughtful look and says, "Then you better think it through." After a pause, he buys the truck and hands Andy the cash. Meanwhile, Monica is reluctantly getting ready to shoot a video with a shady group, something she doesn't want to do but feels she must. She needs the money to fight for her daughter's custody. Suddenly, Andy arrives. He quietly hands some money to the crew and slips Monica a note that reads, "I've called the police, leave now." Monica pretends she needs a smoke and walks out. Soon after, the police arrive and begin checking IDs. The shady crew panics and tries to escape. When the officers realize Andy is actually Andre, they bring him to Monica's house and ask her to keep an eye on him. Monica brings Andy inside and he hands her the money. She hesitates. "I really need this, but I can't take it from you." Andy looks at her and says with hope in his eyes, "Let's leave everything behind. You, me, your daughter. We'll go somewhere far away, start over, and build a new life with this money." Monica gently responds, "I'm not the right person for you. We're too different. I'm much older than you, and you still have your whole life ahead of you. Go find someone your own age and move on." Andy looks at her, confused and hurt. He doesn't fully understand, but Monica stands firm and asks him to leave. In time, Andy comes to realize maybe she was right. Sometimes, letting go is the right thing to do. Before he walks away for good, Monica looks at him with gratitude and says, "Thank you. You made me feel human again." Andy leaves her house with a heavy heart, but unknown to Monica, he's left the money behind anyway. Months pass. Andy travels for a while, drifting from one place to another, trying to heal. Eventually, he returns home. His grandfather is thrilled to see him. His eyes light up the moment Andy walks through the door. Soon after, Andy meets the girl who once had feelings for him. This time, she confesses and proposes. Andy says yes. The two begin a new chapter together, and slowly, happiness returns to Andy's life. And with that, the story comes to a close.